You act on impulse, make a monumental blunder, and then you just sit there, agonizing over why you did it again. It's the same feeling as tripping over the same route, on the same stretch of road, every single time. This is not bad luck, and it's certainly not destiny. It's not that you're weak. The real problem is that most people live a life of mental slavery and don't even notice the chains. It's the internal chaos of someone who never bothered to look at themselves. The issue, my friend, lies in the control you have not yet assumed over that little head of yours. We believe willpower is the key, but it's just a paper shield that your primitive mind knocks down at the first breath of discomfort. Willpower is finite. Cowardice, for many, is infinite. Until you understand that a bloody war is happening inside you, constantly, you will remain a mere servant of your lowest impulses. And your life will continue to be this pathetic roller coaster of decisions that you regret the next morning. If this bothers you, if you feel exposed by this truth, type John 8:32 in the comments. Reference to the truth that sets you free. The last descent. Pay close attention to what I'm about to tell you, because this is the fundamental knowledge that school should have taught you, but which the state makes a point of hiding. In your head, a battle is raging that you don't even perceive. On one side, you have the prefrontal cortex, the noble part, the only thing that differentiates you from an animal. Planning, reasoning, conscious decision-making. It is your command tower. On the other side, down in the basement, you have the limbic system, the primitive part that only wants three things: survival, immediate pleasure, and the warmth of the couch. It doesn't care about virtue, it cares about now. And between these two, lurking in the shadows, are the basal ganglia, responsible for your habits. The ones you execute without thinking, on autopilot, like a zombie following the herd to the next sugar rush. When you act without intention, without a clear purpose or a well-defined ethic, the most primitive part of your mind is in command, holding the key to your habits. What is the practical result of this? A constant perception of frustration, anxiety, and an uncomfortable feeling that you are living a reactive life. You are not living, you're being lived. You turn into a kind of beast, operating based on a neural structure that is only committed to maintaining your survival, not your development as a human being. Mediocrity is the logical result of your algorithm. But why do you procrastinate? Why do you keep doing the very things that harm you? Because your central nervous system is an adaptive coward that loves repetition. It doesn't care about excellence, it cares about alive. If you've made it to your current age sleeping on your mother's couch and eating pizza, your brain concludes that this circumstance is 100% adaptive. The guy hasn't died, he is functionally alive, it concludes. Therefore, it's working. It calculates the cost of change, the effort, the pain, the discomfort, and compares it to the current comfort. And of course, comfort always wins. You have become a slave to a biological algorithm that prioritizes cowardice in the name of survival. But hold on, I'm going to show you why we are not our brain, and why this is the biggest mistake of the modern mindset. Just listen up. Your brain, understand this clearly, is just a material part of your being. It is a sophisticated servant, not the master. And here is the paradigm shift that modern science on its own cannot give you. We are not our brain, we have a brain. This is an abyssal difference, the bridge between the animal and the being who seeks the eternal. We are our aspirations, our desires, our hope, the capacity to love and give our hearts for others. We are our material part and our entire extra-material part. We are all of this put together. So, what happens to people who reach adulthood and cannot create habits of planning and constancy? They gave little or no attention to that part of life that is superior to immediate needs and the comforts of survival. They became attached to the internal zoo, to the animal part, expecting the external garden to bloom on its own. And here, ancient wisdom meets modern neuroscience, slamming the door in the face of cheap hedonism and empty therapy. Aristotle himself said centuries ago, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. You are not excellent because you did something grand once. You are excellent because you do the small and correct thing every day. Excellence, virtue, character. It is a matter of intentional and painful repetition. By consistently practicing the visualization of your excellent version, the man or woman you want to be, the one who acts with the virtue you admire, in order to actually act intentionally, you are not just changing an isolated behavior. Day after day, you are molding your character. You are building a life of purpose, step by step, like a sculptor chipping away the excess stone. There is a real struggle between the animal part of the human being, which wants to maintain comfort, and the more human part, which desires superior things, even if it costs sweat and discomfort. This struggle doesn't just happen in your personal life. If you are a professional, you need to understand that this battle is even more intense when building a solid career. Often we get stuck in professional autopilot, always doing things the same way, charging the same price, delivering the same result. The outcome? Comfortable mediocrity that secures your paycheck, but kills your soul. When your life is composed of intentional human actions, you look in the mirror, you look at your history and say, I recognize that. I did that myself. That is mine. This is true freedom, the recognition of your own authorship. But if you just live reactively, if your life is a sequence of animal reactions to stimuli, you look back and don't recognize yourself. You think, who the hell made this mess? Who lived this? Consider the most common example. You want to get thinner. You will need to deprive yourself of food, enter a caloric deficit, get sweaty, tired, feel hungry sometimes. What does your primitive brain perceive? Being hungry is not good. Depriving yourself of food is awful, and it sabotages you, pushing you toward the comfort of sugar and the couch. Procrastination is this: the struggle between the animal part that wants to maintain comfort and the human part that desires superior things, even if they require sweat and effort. But relax, we are going to tear down this fortress of laziness with the salami technology and the Stoic secret to discipline. Check it out. So the way to activate that noble area of your mind intentionally is through 3 tools that philosophers knew well: mental strength, visualization, and planning. They are the 3 points of the spear. Before every situation, before every challenge, you need to pause and ask yourself, how would my excellent version act now? Not your comfortable version, but the one who acts with purpose, with clarity, and who you aspire to be in the future. Stop and try to visualize that ideal person, that excellent version, in action. Feel their attitude, feel their calm amid the chaos. Do this and realize how powerful it is for rewiring the prefrontal cortex. But pay attention. Building habits in adulthood is difficult. Why? Because you already have a lot of mental baggage formed, and the basal ganglia are addicted to the shortcut. Changing your life seems like a leap into the abyss. This is where the so-called salami technology comes in. What does salami technology mean? You don't eat an entire salami at once or build the city of Rome in a single day. You slice the salami 1 slice at a time. And slice by slice, after a little while, you look in the fridge and the salami is gone. You devoured it. Planning and habit are the only 2 things you need to achieve anything relevant in life. Haste is the enemy of excellence. Consistency is the mother of mastery. Patience is the virtue of the strong. However, you usually plan very poorly. You think things will magically appear or that you can change course with every breeze. This is a fatal mistake. Creating a habit has stages, but it begins with an act of acceptance. You will need to get used to discomfort. Most people flee from it like the plague. They want the reward, the strong body, the successful career, the peace of mind, but they don't want to pay the price. The sweat, the discipline, the solitude of difficult choices. It's what the creator of all things, who became flesh to save us, teaches us. The path of truth is narrow and uncomfortable. Discomfort is the price of your freedom. If you don't bet a little on discomfort, you can't reprogram anything. Think about it. Lifting weights at the gym, it will be uncomfortable, but you get strong. Making food choices that are not as pleasurable, uncomfortable, but you gain health. Following a schedule, even when you'd rather lie in a hammock, uncomfortable, but you gain discipline. Start small. Expose yourself to discomfort intentionally. Take a slightly colder shower than you'd like. Eat the things you enjoy, but a little less. Endure slightly more heat or cold than you'd prefer, or even force yourself to sit with a straight back for 10 minutes. When you and your mind begin to truly understand that discomfort does not kill, that the annoyance is not a threat to survival, that's when things really start to change. It is the beginning of your true human life, where the superior will dominate the animal impulse. Morality doesn't sicken anyone. Truth doesn't oppress. What oppresses is trying to live the truth with a chaotic mind, with rotten foundations. Because then, when you hear a truth, you feel crushed as if it were an unbearable weight. And the story is always the same. The person hears something right and responds, "That's oppression. That's absurd. Having goals is suffocating." Instead of noticing that you are the problem, you say that morality is the problem. But hold on. We are going to discuss the last 4 traps that destroy your mental strength and the final step toward your freedom. Check it out. Clarity. Reprogramming your brain involves this: looking in the mirror, stopping the lies you tell yourself, and actually seeking more purpose in life. If you're watching this video, it is because on some level, you are questioning yourself. You have real conditions to achieve your goals, but you need to conquer what I call the 4 destroyers of mental strength. They are parasites that feed on your weakness. Pay attention to what destroys your mental strength and clarity. 1. Poor communication. The human being does only 2 things that distinguish him from the rest: smiling and speaking. If you don't communicate properly, if you are afraid to express the truth, you lose what makes you human. You become a cornered animal that cannot negotiate. 2. Lack of clarity and assumptions. Making assumptions, creating crazy scenarios in your head. If the person didn't look at you and speak clearly, you don't know. Period. Assuming makes you a coward who is afraid to ask and confront reality. Mental confusion is a luxury you cannot afford. 3. Inflated ego. Only wanting to gain and not wanting to serve. The math doesn't check out. If everyone only wants to gain, who are they going to gain from? The world is not a free lunch, and the cosmos charges a service fee from those who only think of themselves. Servitude is the path to true leadership. 4. Lack of responsibility. Saying it's not my problem. Be careful with this. If nothing becomes your problem, you are dispensable. You become dead weight in the ecosystem and in your own life, and dead weight is cut from the ship. It's always like this. When clarity, responsibility, and purpose are lacking, the result is the same: the collapse of the system and yours. Reprogramming your brain for mental strength is not a mystery, but it involves a painful process of refinement. It involves conscious choices, the planning of your actions, and the constant visualization of your excellent version. It is the Stoic discipline of practicing day after day until the new habit becomes almost automatic. It is about leaving that reactive, impulse-driven life and starting to build an intentional existence aligned with your values and purposes. True freedom and mental strength come from mastering your own reactions and impulses. Freedom lies in your ability to say no to your own primitive self. For all of this to begin, you need a first act, simple and concrete, that shows your brain who is in command. You need to break a small pattern today. Comment below what discomfort you avoid facing the most. Follow the channel, because clarity and discipline begin with simple acts. And if you can't even manage that, how are you going to change the rest of your life? Until next time, and may your mental strength be unshakable.